the book of Matthew chapter 5, Jesus calls us two things, right? He calls us the light of the world and the salt of the earth, okay? So light and salt. And now what I want you guys to realize is that wherever light and salt is, they make a difference. They have an impact. Like, you cannot deny their existence once they're there. In fact, they're so important that we can't live a normal life without light and salt. Like, it's just too important. And that's what we're called to be, guys. We're called to be light and salt. So let's just break that down. Let's just go a little bit deeper. Let's just start with light, okay? So we already know what light is. We already know what it means. We already know that we have to shine our lights, okay? But our problem isn't shining lights, you know. Like, we know how to shine our lights. In fact, we shine our lights all the time. We do it. But our problem is that we shine our lights in the wrong place, okay? We shine our lights in church, you know, the place that's already got the light. You know, where we got the light from in the first place. We just shine it in church. You know, we put on programs for ourselves. We put on programs or services for ourselves. And in fact, we even put on revivals for ourselves. You know, the ones who are already saved. Why do we need revival? We already got the news. Why do we need a revival? And now watch this, guys. Imagine I've got the brightest light bulb in the world, right? Imagine that. I've just got the world's brightest light bulb. If I'm shining it outside, as you guys can see, it's really bright, yeah? It could be the brightest light bulb in the world. It doesn't make a difference when I'm in light. That just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make sense biblically. It doesn't make sense logically. So we're called to go into darkness because the true power, the true potential, or the true usefulness of light is only appreciated when it's in darkness. Lights can only make a difference in darkness. If there's more lights around, then light won't even do anything. It will just be worthless, waste of energy, waste of power. But light only makes a difference when it's in darkness. So if we're called to be the light of the world, we are called to go into darkness where we can make an impact. So that's light, guys. But what about salt? So as you guys know, we use salt in cooking, and every time we put salt on our cooking, you know, it just elevates it to the next level. We know that salt's there, it has an impact on what we do. In fact, we use salt so much that when we don't use salt, we just know it's missing. Like, yo, brother, I swear, did you not put salt in this? Like, we just know it's missing. And guys, we're called to make such an impact on people's lives that, let's just say, for whatever reason that we just couldn't minister to their needs for one day, we should have so much of an impact on their lives that when we're missing, they're just like, you know what, right? Where's that church? You know, that church is always like, you know, doing stuff. Like, where are they? Like, we should make so much of an influence or so much of a difference and an impact that people realize our absence if we're gone for whatever reason. And one other thing about salt, guys, is that salt has the ability to go into something without being affected by it. Okay, I'll say that one more time. It has the ability to go into something without being affected by it. So let's just say I'm cooking some tomato stew, right? Let's just say I'm just cooking that, and I put salt in the tomato stew. The salt will not taste of tomatoes. It just won't happen. But the stew will taste of salt though. Right? And that's the power of salt, and that's what we're called to be. We're called to, because some people will say, you know, I don't want to go into the world because I don't want to be corrupted. Well, nah, foolishness. Because if you're truly salt, right? If you're truly salty, right? You can go into the world without being corrupted, because salt ability, the main ability of salt is to go into something without being affected by it, but impact it anyway. So guys, what I want to leave you with is this. It's time to lighten up, and it's time to get salty. So let's get busy.